What's good, YouTube? Justin Righteous here. I like to yap on world topics. Here's another reaction video. Let's get straight into it.
Life after high school. It's truly a breath of fresh air. And I would say there's 5 different phases of life after school, and it's kind of like you're slowly but surely easing your way into adulthood. If you enjoy the content around here, consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1,000,000 subs by the end of the year. Without further ado, let's just get into the video. So let's start with phase 1, the first taste of freedom. There truly is no better feeling than finally getting your diploma and getting the hell out of there. After all the years that you spent in the school system, you are finally free from the shackles, unless you go to college. Then you got even more.
Yeah. Life after high school, I think, is pretty much the same. I mean, you're literally it's the same thing. You're just going to college and you're doing the same thing you were doing in high school. Maybe you have a little bit more freedom. You have more time in between courses. Like, it's not the same, it's not the same 7, 8 or 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock schedule, but I mean, it's you're pretty much still doing all the same things.
School to put up with. No more 6 a.m. wake ups. No more Olympic level sprint to catch the bus every morning. It's all over. But for whatever reason, people are crying at graduation, talking about how they don't want to leave. Then I had to sit through a bunch of emotional speeches as well. But no offense to those people, but dude, I just wanted to go home. I was just super excited to leave and to never go there again. In the moment I got home from my graduation, my family was there ready to throw me a party. And me and the Duck were turning up at the Duckalo residence graduation party. And being done with that shit really felt like a figment of my imagination. I thought to myself, there's no possible way this shit's actually over. It just feels way too good to be true. And then over the summer, all the dopamine finally hit me. I'm like, no fucking way I'm free. This is insane. But by the time August rolled around, I thought to myself, oh shit, I got college in a month. But in reality, I wasn't really ready to go to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do yet. I wanted to explore my options more and see how this YouTube thing does. In college, I
mean, me personally, I wasn't even thinking. I was just doing what I thought I was supposed to be doing. I mean, I went to college. I barely even picked my college. I just went to the best college that recruited me for football. And at that time in CJEP, right? I live in Canada. They don't even really give out scholarships for CJEP. Very rarely, but they don't really give out scholarships for CJEP. So I just went to. I mean, I went to a really good football college, but I was just going with the flow. I mean, I had just finished high school. It was a breeze. So now it was time for college, I guess. I didn't even know what I wanted to do in my life.
wasn't really sure what I wanted to do.
I still barely know what I want to do in my life.
When I got to my college, I didn't really like it, to be honest with you. So that's why in phase 2, you need to decide what you want to do. Think of a clear path for yourself. Take a gap year from college if you really have to. Really understand what it is that you like to do. That doesn't mean do jack shit for years on end. That means don't go into 100K in debt and pick a major that you don't even like. What is the point of that? Because now you're stuck doing this bullshit you don't even want to do. You got to remember that your ass is clocking in for 40 hours of the week. Sometimes more, honestly. So you got to remember, you really got to enjoy what you do. But you also have to be able to put food on the table. It's really important to have a balance between those two. And well, because of that, yeah, I dropped out of college a year ago. I just didn't like it there, and I felt like I was just wasting my money. A lot of people are like, oh, college is a must. You have to go to college, or you're going to be homeless for the rest of your life. I don't know what the deal with that is, but you can definitely be successful without college. There's a bunch of...
You can definitely be successful without college. I mean, there's a lot of examples out there. But, I mean, I do think there's a but. I do think there's a but. I think that high school is the baseline for teaching you how the world works and being okay with navigating through the challenges of life. And I think every degree higher that you complete, I think it puts you on a higher step to be able to navigate through life. Whether you do, I don't know, diploma, the bachelor's, a master's, a PhD, I think every level is a new step of how you see the world and your ability to navigate it.
Other things that you could do. You can learn how to do a trade. You could start your own business. And I don't know why it's such a big rush either to go to college. And if that's what you want to do, by all means do it. Don't do it just because your parents are pushing you to go to college right this second. If you're dead set on what you want to do already, absolutely.
Society pushes us to go to school because whether we like it or not, going to school does refine your brain. It does make you a little bit smarter, but obviously it does not guarantee, you know, it does not guarantee wealth. Wealth is something that you learn outside of school. So if your goal is to be rich, I don't really think you should go to school. If that's your goal, well, you should probably start a business and start networking and you should just chase money. You should just understand money and chase that. But if you want to do something else, if you kind of want to work, you want to be a doctor, a lawyer, or you kind of want to learn, you want to make your own business, but it has something to do with, I don't know, finances or things of that nature, then you should probably go to school. That's probably your best option at learning what that skill is, right?
Absolutely go for it. If you don't want to go to college, or at least you don't want to go to college right now, don't be afraid to explore other options. Hell, you could just get a job right out of school if you really want to, and just stack bread right out of high school instead of jumping into college with zero money. And I was really nervous about all this. And then by the time my junior year started, I would have had to declare my major. So I would have had to pick something like
Yo, I was not nervous about any of this stuff. I was not thinking about that at his age when I got out of high school. I was just here to play football. I was just having fun playing football. And eventually playing football opened up, many doors for me. Eventually I got a scholarship to play university football, but I mean, I was not thinking about what I'm gonna do after. I was just living in the moment. But I do think that came to bite me bite me in the ass later on in my life, because I wasn't prepared for the professional life. I wasn't prepared for, building a career and things like that. So I had to start thinking of that. Some people, they never think of that until they die. But, eventually I realized that I wanted to create my own career and create my own path in life. So I started thinking about it eventually. I'm glad he started thinking about it earlier. The earlier you think about it, the better for sure.
marketing, even though I'm not really that interested in it. And now in movies and shit like that, college is painted as the time of your life. And your
It
parents
is.
or whoever else is in your
It
life probably
definitely
tell you
is.
about the college experience.
The college
A lot
experience
of
is
people choose to
great.
go to college just for the experience. They want to live it up, go to parties, do all that. And that's great, man, do you. But you got to remember, you have to pay all that tuition by time it's over. Don't get me wrong, I had some fun experiences in college, but I just didn't think it was worth the price tag. And that just wasn't the direction I wanted to take my career, so to me, it just didn't feel worth it. And ultimately, that's up for you to decide if college is worth the money. And it all
I mean, I had a phenomenal time in college. That's when you first start partying. That's when you first start having sex. That's when you first, you know what I mean? That's when that's your first of everything. And your first time for anything is always gonna be the best experience of your life, right? So it was a great time for me. Plus, I played football, so I had an even higher experience than most people that probably didn't play a sport or just was just going to school to go to school. But I definitely had a great time partying, meeting a lot of people, and just being myself, really.
depends on what direction you really see yourself going in. Even though you are an adult when you leave high school, I still was not treated like one in college. They basically treated my college like a high school. They would get mad when people would check their phones, when people would have more than 2 absences. Are you kidding me? So when they would have a
Crazy.
third absence, their entire grade would tank. No, I'm not kidding. And this
That's
makes zero
crazy.
sense to me because we're the ones paying for this shit. We're the ones taking out an arm and a leg to pay for this. Why on God's green earth do we have an attendance policy? Now, once you decide what path
That's
you're
what you
taking
paid
right
for.
out of high school, now you got to get used to adult responsibilities. And I've said this in videos dozens of times now. It
Yup.
would have been nice instead of teaching us bullshit in
Phase
school,
3.
maybe how to do adult things. Like, for example, how to fix a tire, how to build credit. I don't want to
I literally said that in another video. I literally said that in another video. I low-key think that not teaching us how to change a tire is actually kind of crazy if you really think about it. Not teaching us how to change a tire in school is low-key crazy. Credit score, on the other hand, credit score is really just a reflection of your financial habits, of your financial discipline. So, I mean, everyone should learn how to be financially disciplined and pay their stuff on time. So, credit score, you can't really teach that. You literally just have to tell someone to pay your stuff on time. But changing a tire, that could happen to anybody. But I guess because you could pay someone else to do it, so that's why they don't teach you, right?
That I don't want to find out years later that I'm not going to get accepted to buy a house because, ooh, yeah, buddy, your credit score's a bit on the low side. Yeah, so my dad told me, look, to prevent that bullshit from happening, you got to start building credit now. When I was 19 or 20 years old, I got my very first credit card. And ever since, I've been buying shit on it for business
That's
stuff and I've
young,
been paid for
you
at the
know?
end of the month. Now, on top of
That's
bills,
good.
okay, there's a whole nother host of responsibilities you got to take care of the moment you enter adulthood. First of all, you got to learn how to cook, which, yeah, I really still don't know how to cook. If you give me access to using an oven, I am most definitely burning the kitchen down. Then you just got your day-to-day cleaning and housekeeping shit like laundry, vacuuming your room, and even sometimes I have trouble staying on top of shit like that. So I would end up with piles of clothes on my hamper, a bunch of coffee mugs on my desk. Sometimes I'll get carried away with work or something else, and I'll forget to do basic shit like clean my room or do my laundry. And of course, by the way, we can't forget, the IRS is going to be knocking at your
That's real. That's real. I mean, doing chores is everyone needs to do chores in their life, right? That's why it's better the younger you learn to do chores. It's gonna be a lot easier when you get older, right? So listen to your parents. Do your chores.
door, but nah, that's your responsibility. You got to figure out how much you owe the IRS.
I mean, all you gotta do is invite a girl over. If you got a girl coming over, I bet you gonna clean your room. If you don't, you're nasty.
They're not going to tell you. You just got to figure it out yourself. Even though they're expecting that amount of money from you on April 15th, the day I'm recording this. You know what, guys? I'm just going to evade my taxes this year. I'm done. Okay, Jesus Christ, I was joking. Oh my. And the worst adult responsibility of them all. Hello? Yeah, is this Birdie Duckalo? Yeah, why? You missed the last few months' rent and, you're getting evicted now, so, goodbye. And that's why every time when a YouTuber drops a video, everyone comments, bro, the rent was due. And when that happens, the bills are not gonna be kind. I'm gonna have to pump out more school videos to pay the rent, bro. It's getting ridiculous out here. Phase 4 of life after school. Living with people. Whether you have roommates in college or you have roommates in an apartment. So you gotta find roommates that you really can cooperate with.
I mean, phase 4, that's more like that should be more like phase 3 or phase 2 even, because usually you get roommates right out of high school or in college, right?
Because you got to put up with their shit every day pretty much. Luckily in college I was able to pick to room with my brother, otherwise I would have been stuck with 3 random people. But I was in the room with my brother, a friend, and then yeah, 1 random person. And the living experience there wasn't the worst thing in the world apart from the college bath. Living experience.
Yo, my dorm looked exactly like that. What the heck? What the heck? Except the shelves were like all the way up to the ceiling, kind of. Like that table with, wow. But yo, memories.
Experience there wasn't the
I was with a
worst thing
football
in the
teammate,
world,
so it was
apart from
good.
the
It was
college
fun.
bathrooms. They were fucking disgusting. And there was definitely some awkward moments for sure because we didn't have our own space, like I said in my roommate's video. And it's not their fault by any means. It's just awkward as hell living with people when they don't have their own rooms. I am somebody that needs my own room. I cannot share a bedroom with somebody. But if I have to, it is what it is. And sometimes people have a lot of trouble getting along with the people they live with, just because shit just gets so much more complicated when you're sharing a space. Like if you're sharing an apartment and your roommate leaves food on the floor or some shit and the floor.
I didn't have that problem. My roommate was clean. I'm a clean person too. And you know, it was a good time. He was my teammate and we both kind of had the same energy. We were both very energetic people. So I had a phenomenal time. I had a phenomenal time my first year of college because that's when I lived in a dorm. And man, we would have girls over every week. Like even one of our boys, he literally brought his bed and put it in between ours and stayed with us like for like a whole month until he found a girl. Then it was done after that, but it was a great time. It was a great time.
or it's just a complete mess, obviously it's going to piss off somebody who likes a clean space. Somebody's up at like 3 in the morning yelling at the top of their lungs while playing, I don't know, some game, just say Marvel Rivals, for example. And you have to work at 6 in the morning. So if you live together, you kind of have to have the same type of lifestyle. And hey, if that's really how you're going to live, scream at the top of your lungs and play games at 3 in the morning, you know what? Sure. I mean, who is there to stop you? Or well, maybe a noise complaint. Or if this dude just eats all the food in the fridge and you're left with nothing but a goddamn packet of ramen, obviously that's gonna piss you off. There's no reason for you to get snubbed out of your eats like that. That's crazy. Like if your roommate can clean 5 burgers back to back like DJ Khaled, you might want to hide your food, okay? That's all I'm gonna say. If you end up in a situation like this with your roommate and there's some kind of conflicting issue that's starting to like piss you off a little bit, do not start beef over it. That's like the dumbest thing you can do, because then the problem doesn't get solved. It's just a bunch of screaming matches back and forth. What you should do is settle that John like adults and just talk it out. Otherwise, it's not going to get solved. Phase 5, you begin to provide for yourself. You started that business, or you finished college, whatever the case may be. Or if you're really feeling like it at the moment, you could have a family. And for me, honestly, bro, I'm like 10 years away from that shit, okay? We are not even close. You finally landed that job. You are no longer unemployed. Those days are over. And you absolutely fucking killed this interview in cold blood. It was just over from the beginning. But if you get a job that pays the bills, you like it, okay, man, just lock in. But some people end up hating their job, and they are stuck doing some bullshit that they don't want to do. But yet they're at the point where they're like 100K in debt, so they kind of have to stick it out. They don't have a choice. If you got a degree in marketing, for an example, and now you don't even want to do marketing, you're like, you know what? This stupid ass marketing shit, I'm done. And then you decide you want to be a teacher. Then you have to go back to school for that. That's why it's really important to know what you're going to college for, and if you'd totally be okay with doing this for life. No pressure.
I changed my major twice, right? I study physics, okay? I study physics and I changed my major twice. I used to be in computer science, and before that I was in engineering. And the reason I was in engineering and computer science is because I thought that was the best option coming out of college. I thought, I was thinking to myself, I'll just do computer science and I'll get a job. I'll get a job as right after I get my degree. And then ChatGPT came out, and I started to hear all these things. I started, people with a computer science degree used to tell me that, like, would tell me that they hate their jobs, or like it's hard to find a job and things like that. And I was like, okay, let me just go into what my heart is telling me. And my heart is telling me to do physics first and then do a master's in engineering afterwards. So that's currently the journey that I'm on. I'm on a very, very long journey, but it's because I'm trusting the process and I know exactly what I'm going to do when I'm done with that. So he's right. I think if you're in school and you don't know what you want to do, then you either stay in school and experiment with like a bunch of different courses, or you get out of school, experiment with life, and then go back to school. But finishing a degree and then not wanting to do that afterwards, I think is crazy.
It's just the rest of your life on the line. But I've heard stories from my professors tell me that they've gone through multiple arcs where they had some fucking job that they hated, and then they fell in love with teaching, and they were on multiple arcs in their life. And my professor told the class that this arc lasted him like 10 years. And that was the day I realized how important it was to enjoy what I do. And one day I will provide for a family. I want to keep the Duckalo bloodline going. Children are expensive, man. In order for the Duckalo bloodline to continue, okay, I'm gonna have to put some serious cheese down. That's a whole other mouth to feed right there. I better like what I'm doing. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna have to pump out 50 school videos at that point. But yeah, getting married, having a family, shit, that's like ways away from me, dude. But yeah, man, moral of the video, just do you, man. Life is what you make it. And everybody's got their own path in life. And some people move at different paces. But some people discover new hobbies when they're an adult. And some of these hobbies are weird as hell. So I'll watch the video about hobbies on the end screen. Just
that's enough for the video. I thought it was great. I mean, he makes a really great point at the end, and he's like really good at giving a good moral and giving us a lesson. So that was a great video. Your thoughts on the give me your thoughts on the comments below, and let me know. You in adulthood right now? Are you still in high school? Do you know what you're gonna do after you're done with school? Are you outside of school? Are you starting a business? I actually want to know. So let me know. And thank you for watching. Peace.